स्तूरीतिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितम् कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंस चानूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. We are in Canto 9 and we have completed 14 chapters. There are total 24 chapters in 9th canto. So we will have another 10 chapters. As we recall, the 9th canto is mainly about Suryavansh and Chandravansh. We are talking about the current Manvantar, which is Vaivasvat Manvantar. In each Manvantar, there are 71 Chaturyugis. So how many Chaturyugis are completed? 27 Chaturyugis are completed. And we are in the next Chaturyugi. And in that Chaturyugi, Satya Yug, Treta Yug and Dwapar Yug are completed. And now we are into the Kali Yug. Satya Yug is 4 times 4,30,000 years. That means 16 lakhs, 17 lakhs, 12,000 years. Treta is 3 times Kali Yug. That means 12 lakhs 96,000 years. Dwapar is 2 times Kali Yug. That means 8 lakhs 64,000 years. And now we are in Kali Yug and we have completed about 5,200 years. So one Manvantar itself is so huge. Forget about previous Manvantar and previous Manvantar. We cannot recall the main personalities in one Manvantar. So what are the personalities? Like there are some personalities which are going to last for a very long time. So in the Brahmand, when Brahmaji is born, he creates Manas Putras, and from Manas Putras, other personalities are created, and then Manuji is created. And from Manuji onwards, Mathuni Srishti begins. So the current Manuji in this Chaturyugi is Vaivasvat Manu, and he has a son called Ikshvaku. And in that lineage, we came to know about different personalities like Mandhata, Trishanku, Arishchandra, Sagar, Bhagirath, Sri Ram. And in the last session, we learnt about King Nimi. So Nimi episode was very interesting. How there was a curse and there was a counter curse. And Nimi was cursed by Vashist ji that he will lose his physical body. Right? So, and King Nimi also cursed Vasisht ji. But then once the king is gone, the well-wishers of the kingdom are thinking that without king, how the kingdom will be run. So his body had fallen off and which had been preserved, means the soul had departed, the body had been discarded. So his body was churned and there was a personality who developed from that body and that was called Vade. And because it was created out of the churning, so the name of that boy was called Mithil, and he made this place called Mithilapuri, about which we are all very familiar. So that was that was the story of King Nimi. When he was cursed that he will drop his gross body, a benediction was also given that King Nimi will reside in the palak, eyelid of the jiva. So when King Nimi in his subtle form he decides he will live into the eyelid of the jivas, that is what Bhagavad mentions. So when the eyelid keeps dropping and moving upward, that will give the knowledge that King Nimi exists there. So that is the story. इसके बाद महर्षियों ने यह सोचकर कि राजा के न रहने पर लोगों में अराजकता फैल जाएगी, निमि के शरीर का मंथन किया। उस मंथन से एक कुमार उत्पन्न हुआ। जन्म लेने के कारण उसका नाम हुआ जनक। विदेह से उत्पन्न होने के कारण वैदेह और मंथन से उत्पन्न होने के कारण उस बालक का नाम मिथिल हुआ। उसी ने मिथिलापुरी बसाई। पलक उठने और गिरने से उनके अस्तित्व का पता चलता रहेगा. So looks like there is a connection with the word nimish. The eyelid drops in a very small time frame called nimish. So now I can see a connection between Nimish and King Nimi. So with this story of King Nimi, the Chandra Vansh, the Surya Vansh episodes were completed, and the Chandra Vansh will now begin from this 14th chapter. So when you talk about Surya Vansh, you will always remember King Ram and his ancestors, Dasharath, Aj, Dilip, Raghu, then Mandhata, Sagar, Bhagirath, Harishchandra, Trishanku, all these personalities you will remember, going up to sun god Vivaswan, his father Manuji, and his father Brahmaji. His father Ikshvaku and his father Vivaswan's father is Angira, and his father is Brahmaji. So it's very complex, so sometimes we mix the names, but we have to read it a few times to understand fully. So let us begin the 14th chapter, which is called Chandravans. But before we begin, let us sing the bhajan. भजो बृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे. So भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे. भजो बृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे. भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे. भजो बृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे. भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे. Vijay Bhaiya, you would like to read the meaning before we sing?
जी भैया. Worship Shri Krishna who performs sweet divine pastimes in the dense forest of Vrindavan. Worships Shri Radha, the darling daughter of King Brishvanu. Even Shri Krishna constantly chants the name of Radharani. Such is my Queen Radha, the darling daughter of King Brishvanu. Shri Krishna keeps exclaiming with amazement upon seeing Radharani. Such is the beauty of my Radharani, the Queen of Barsana.
Right. Is there a second line? Second
Yes, sir.
or okay.
Radharani calls out to Sri Krishna, "O my beloved, such is my Sri Krishna who performs the sweetest divine pastimes." Says Sri Kripalu, Sri Radha chants the name of Sri Krishna and Sri Krishna chants the name of Sri Radha. Such are my loving divine couple, Radha Krishna.
Thank you. भजो बृंदा विपिन बिहारी की, भजो श्री राधे. भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे. रटे राधे राधे गिरी धारी रे, रटे राधे राधे गिरी धारी रे. ऐसी मेरी राधे राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे भानु दुलारी रे. ऐसी मेरी राधे भानु दुलारी रे. रटे राधे राधे गिरी धारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे. ऐसी मेरी राधे भानु दुलारी रे. भजो बृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे. भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे. हा हा खाए जाए बलिहारी रे, हा हा खाए जाए बलिहारी रे. ऐसी ऐसी मेरी राधे, हाँ ऐसी मेरी राधे राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे बरसाने वारी रे. ऐसी मेरी राधे बरसाने वारी रे. हा हा खाए जाए बलि हारी रे. ऐसी मेरी राधे. ऐसी मेरी राधे बरसाने वारी रे. नेक्स्ट. भजो बृंदा विपिन बिहारी की, भजो श्री राधे. भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे. भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे. रटे प्यारे प्यारे राधा प्यारी रे. रटे प्यारे प्यारे राधा प्यारी रे. ऐसे मेरे प्यारे राधे ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, राधे ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, लीला बिहारी रे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, लीला बिहारी रे। भजो रटे प्यारे प्यारे, राधा प्यारी रे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, लीला बिहारी रे। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी की, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी के। रटे प्यारे प्यारे प्यारे, प्यारी रे, रटे प्यारी प्यारे प्यारे, प्यारी रे, ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, राधे ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, राधे ऐसे हैं कृपालु, प्यारे प्यारी प्यारी रे, ऐसे हैं कृपालु, प्यारे प्यारी रे। रटे प्यारी प्यारे प्यारे, प्यारी रे, रटे प्यारी प्यारे प्यारे, प्यारी रे, ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, राधे ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, राधे ऐसे हैं कृपालु, प्यारे प्यारी रे, ऐसे हैं कृपालु, प्यारे प्यारी रे। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी की, भजो श्री राधे राधे, भजो श्री भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे। बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundananji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now we shall read from the 9th canto, chapter 14, Chandravansh, which is about the dynasty of the moon god. All of us are very familiar with Chandra, the moon god, the Surya, the sun god. They say that God is clearly visible in the form of Surya, because there are those who believe that Surya is the form of the Lord. So, this is one entity which is clearly visible to everyone every day. That Surya Vansh and Chandra Vansh we are reading about in this canto, in these chapters. So let's read the slides. First slide, I will read a few and then you all can raise your hands if you wish to participate in reading. Number 1, Sukhdev ji is very eager to tell King Parikshit about the moon god. Chandradev's dynasty. He starts, Dear Parikshit, now hear about the Som dynasty, which has been graced by various great personalities like Pururva, etc. Lord Brahma manifested seated on a lotus from the Supreme Lord Narayan, having 1,000 heads, navel, and had a son Atri. Sage Atri was endowed with the same qualities of his father, Lord Brahma. From sage Atri's eyes, the moon god Chandradev manifested. Lord Brahma bestowed Chandradev as the ruler, lord of Brahmins, herbal medicines, and the planets. Chandradev then ruled over all the three worlds and conducted a Rajshuya Yajna successfully, which increased his pride and arrogance. Due to this pride, Chandradev abducted Tara, the wife of the Devata's Acharya Brihaspati. He ignored all pleas of Brihaspati to return Tara. So, there is a saying in Ramayana that no one can escape pride. The Holy Bible says it is possible for a group of camels, or perhaps a group of how many thousands of camels, to pass through the eye of a needle. It is possible for so many uh, camels or elephants to pass through the eye of the needle if it becomes possible. But it is not possible for a rich person to surrender to the Lord, to bow his, to enter the kingdom of God. This is what Holy Bible says. Similar statements are there in all the scriptures. Srimad Bakranak, that sloka, that chaupai we chanted recently, and also Asa Jagamahi. There is, I forget the first few words. There is no one in this world who is opulent in some areas. Like somebody is very pretty, very beautiful, somebody is very handsome, somebody is very good in English, somebody is very good in music. Once a person becomes opulent, somebody is a very great project manager, so the pride comes in. No one can escape. Pride is so strong. We have read so much about pride in our analysis of the Panchakosh. Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vigyanmay Kosh, Anandamay Kosh. And it is the most difficult to cut the pride, the subtle ego, that I have an identity, I. So, this is what is stated here also, that Chandradev, he has been made the in charge for herbal medicines, planets, and Brahmins. He is the ruler. So Bhagavad Gita says in the 15th chapter, Gama Vishyacha Bhutani Dharyami Aham Ojasa Pushnami Chausadi Sarva Somo Bhutva Rasatmakaha. The Lord says, I manifest in the form of the moon, and the moon has the moonshine, and the moonshine creates the juice in the fruits. So, one opulence of the moon is described in Bhagavad Gita. Next time when you are eating grapes, know that the juice has come from the moonshine. So, this is the moon god we are talking about. He developed the pride. He is the son of Atri Rishi, and Atri Rishi is the son of Brahmaji. Now, what he does, he abducts the wife of the Devatas, who is the Acharya, who is the Guru Biraspati. There cannot be a greater misconduct, but he does that. Let us read the second slide. A discord then brewed between the Devatas and Asuras, with Shukracharya already bearing animosity with Biraspati. Asked the Asuras to side with Chandradev, and Lord Shankar, with his Rudragan, sided with Guru Putra Biraspati, as Biraspati was Mahadev's own Guru, says Angira's son. In the war that ensued amongst Devatas and Ashura, Indradev too with the Devatas sided with Brihaspati. Thus, Tara became the reason for both sides to fight with each other. Sage Angira approached Lord Brahma and pleaded him to end this war. Brahmaji then severely chided, scolded Chandradev, and Tara was returned back to Brihaspati. Perceiving her to be pregnant, Brihaspati told, O sinful, vile lady, give up this child. Now, do not fear, I won't punish you after you deliver the child. And I too desire to have my children from you. Hearing these words, Tara was humiliated. She immediately delivered a glorious child. So, quite a complex story. Chandradev abducts Tara, who is the wife of Biraspati, who is the Acharya of the Devatas. But because Shukracharya, who is the Acharyas of Asura, he sided with Chandradev. So, NDA versus that kind of a Gatbandhan is going on. And then there was a war. And who was the eye of the storm? Tara. the girl, the lady who is carrying the baby. And then the question arises, Biraspati says that you return the child, you deliver the child, and come back to me, because even though Tara had been abducted, Biraspati still wants to recover her, and Brahmaji has intervened, and now Tara has delivered this glorious child, about whom let us read in the next slide. Seeing the child's radiance, Biraspati and Chandradev desperately longed for the child. Again, an argument started between the two, with both claiming to be the father of the child. Other sages, priests, devatas approached Tara to disclose who was the father of the child to end the argument. But Tara, feeling shameful, kept mum. The child too was enraged and asked her to disclose who was his father. Then Lord Brahma arrived and, taking Tara aside, asked her gently to reveal the truth. When Tara revealed that Chandradev was the child's father, Chandradev happily took away the child with him. The child was named Buddha by Brahmaji due to the child's buddhi, intelligence, and profound wisdom. Oh dear Parikshit, this is the same Buddha who had married Ila, later Sudyumna, Manu's daughter. They had a son Pururva. Once Naradji was extolling the virtues of King Pururva to Indradev in his assembly, when the celestial nymph Urvashi, on hearing the glories, was struck by Cupid. She had earlier been cursed by Mitra Varun, by which she had to appear on earth and have human disposition, due to which she now felt attracted to Pururva, and desiring Pururva approached him. So the story becomes even more complex. The child Buddha is born. See, we have Shanivar, Budhwar. So both moon god and Mercury is mentioned here. And so this Buddha is a very intelligent child, and he marries Ila, right? Buddha, who had married Ila. And who is Ila? Ila is Sudyum, like both male and female, you know the curse that took place. And Ila is the daughter of Manu. Now, once Ila gets married to Buddha, they have a son called Pururva. Now, when I was in college, I used to read about Urvashi Pururva drama. It was very famous. So now we get a more complete picture of the whole episode. So we learnt about Pururva, who is a very handsome child, son of Ila and Bud. So Naraji is so impressed by Pururva that once he was in the assembly of the virtues, assembly of the kings, and there he started describing the glories of Pururva. Now Urvashi was hearing the glories, and she developed this attachment, the attraction to uh, Pururva. Also, in parallel, she had been cursed by Mitra Varun, because of which she has to appear on earth. So her falling, getting attached to Pururva is also, you know, coincident with this requirement that she has to come to earth. Now let us read the next slide. So Vijay Bhaiya.
Uh,
Or
okay,
Yatin Bhaiya.
yeah, so let me read the two slides and then after me, Shilaji can continue.
Right.
Okay, so King Pururu was equally thrilled by the beauty of Urvashi and politely asked, "Welcome, O lady of captivating beauty. I look forward to being associated with you for years together." To which Urvashi replied, "Rajan, you yourself are so handsome that any female will get attracted and attached to you. Handsome males are cherished by females. As we both desire each other, I accept to be with you on the condition that you protect my children, these two rams. And eating only ghee, I should always sight you with clothes unless the occasion demands it, not otherwise." Pururva accepted these conditions of Urvashi, said, "O lady of exquisite beauty who charms all, when you yourself have come of your own accord, who would not accept you?" Shukdev says, O Parikshit, thus Urvashi and Purur started staying together in places like Chaitrarath, Garden of Kuber, etc. for many, many years, with Purur being completely besotted with Urvashi. Missing Urvashi in his assemblies, Indradev asked the Gandharvas to get her back. One night, the Gandharvas then quietly took hold of the rams and started retreating. Hearing the rams' cries, Urvashi was distraught and cried, Look at this coward man sleeping, due to whom thieves emboldened have taken my children, as he cannot even protect my children despite his promise.
Right. So, as I said, the story is very complex and deep and too many personalities. So, but we understood that Atri's son is Moon, Moon's son is Buddha, Buddha's son is Pururva, and Pururva is visited by Urvashi, who has got attracted. So she agrees to marry Pururva, but she has brought two rams, two baby rams, and she says, You give me the promise that you will protect these two rams. And then she puts the condition that she will only consume ghee and she cannot be seen without clothes, except when they have union. Apart from that, she cannot be seen without clothes. These are the conditions. So let's see what happens next. Okay, so in the second paragraph also we learn that the people in Indralok they found out that Urvashi is missing, so they went for a hunt and they found out that Urvashi is in the Mrityulok with Pudurva, and the Gandharvas have come to take her back. So to do that, first they steal these two rams. So when they steal the two rams, uh, the lady Urvashi starts insulting Pururva. You are such a coward man, this, that. I never knew that I have married such a coward, etc. So he got very much distraught and he came out of the house to recover the rams. So he did recover the rams, but the Gandharva was shining so much brightly with their light. Urvasi also came out to look for the rams, and then she sees Pururva without clothes, and that's where she vanishes because that was the condition that she cannot see him without clothes, except for those occasions. And now let us read the next one.
Okay. Hearing such sharp, humiliating words, Pururva was furious and rushed forth wielding a sword to rescue the rams, forgetting that he had no clothes on. Seeing him, the Gandharvas abandoned the rams and shone like lightning, brightening up the area. As Pururva came in sight with the rams, Urvashi, seeing him without clothes and the condition now broken, left from there immediately. King Pururva, being deeply attached, was miserable without Urvashi and roamed all over aimlessly, pining for her. Once on the banks of river Saraswati in Kurukshetra, he came across Urvashi with her five close friends and lovingly told her, My dear, please listen to me once. After you abandoning me, my body deprived and thirsting of your love, with you have discarded, which you have discarded, will now become feast for wolves and vultures. Urvashi replied, O Rajan, control your senses and do not let this physical body become feast for any being. It is not advisable to befriend women. Women, foxes, and wolves always look out only for their own personal interests. Women are heartless and cruel. The flimsiest of reasons displeases them, and they become courageous to achieve any object for their desire. For selfish reasons, women do not hesitate to kill their husbands, brothers, etc.
Right. So we discuss about why Urvashi went back, and also how later King became very distraught and he was looking for Urvashi, and he came across Urvashi with the friends, and then this conversation took place. where Urvashi talks very maliciously about the women folk. Let's read on the next one.
Sheila, do you want to?
Yes, Bhaiya, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Hearing such sharp, humiliating words, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, next one. Yeah, this one.
They are stone-hearted and trap the innocent, gullible with their sweet talks and charms. O great King Pururva, be patient and I will meet you after a year, and then we will have many children together. Seeing that Urvashi was pregnant, King Pururva returned back to his kingdom and waited 1 year for Urvashi. After giving birth to a great warrior son, Urvashi did return back to the king, bringing him immense joy and delight. He was disappointed when she wanted to return the next day morning. Urvashi consoled him and asked him to request the Gandharvas if she could stay back. Accordingly, Pururava prayed to the Gandharvas, who, pleased with him, bestowed upon him Agnisthali, a vessel holding fire, which the king assumed to be Urvashi. Accepting this as Urvashi, the king roamed about from one forest to another, holding the sthali close to his heart. After some time, regaining and composing himself, he left the sthali in the forest and returned back to his kingdom, always remembering Urvashi in the nights. Whilst King Pururava was meditating on Urvashi, the Satyug ended and Treta Yuga commenced, due to which the knowledge of the three Vedas manifested and settled in the king's heart-mind.
So such a fascinating story that the king has become very much distraught in absence of Urvashi and is roaming about. And the king did meet Urvashi, and she was advised by Pururva to be patient and that she will meet him after a year and then they can have many children together. So king saw that Urvashi was pregnant, so King Pururva returned back to his kingdom and waited 1 year for Urvashi, and she gave birth to a great warrior son. Urvashi returned, and they were very happy. But when she wanted to return, he became very much disappointed. So Urvashi consoled him, and she said, "Ask the Gandharvas if she could stay back." So Pururva prays to Gandharvas, and they bestow upon him Agnisthali, a vessel holding fire, which the king assumed to be Urvashi. So king's state of mind, you can imagine. So he takes this Agnisthali, the vessel holding fire, as Urvashi, and he roams about the forest from one forest to another, holding the sthali close to his heart. And then he left the sthali in the forest and returns back to the kingdom, always remembering Urvashi. So once while King Pururva was meditating on Urvashi, at that time the Satyug has ended and Treta Yuga has commenced, due to which the knowledge of the three Vedas manifested and settled in the king's heart and mind. So the knowledge of the Vedas have settled in king's heart and mind. So let's read next what happens.
Shall I continue, Bhaiya? Unless
Sure.
there's someone else.
I don't see anyone's hands, so please
Then
continue.
the king returned back to the place where he had kept the sthali, the vessel. There he saw a sacred fig, peepal tree growing from within a shami vriksh, chikur, white kuch tree. He made 2 arani sticks from the same tree. Desiring the abode of his beloved Urvashi, saying mantras, he mentally imagined the top arani stick as himself and the lower as Urvashi, and the fire, the flame that would generate as his son. From the combination of these 3, the resultant fire generated as Jat Ved, used in Yajna for material success. Adopting the fire as his son, he then split the fire into 3 parts: Ahavanya, Garhapatya, Dakshinagni, And then, as per his desire, desiring the abode of Urvashi, he with his adopted son, the sacred fire, worshipped the Supreme Lord presiding over all yajnas. Dear Parikshit, before Pururava, Omkar was the single Ved. All the other Veds were merged in it. Only the Supreme Lord Narayan was worshipped and no other devatas. There was a single fire and a single Van society order known as Hums. King Pururava is instrumental in splitting the Vedas and fire into three parts. Accepting the fire as his son, the king then attained the abode of Gandharvalok.
Right. So, very amazing story that how the Asthali was kept in the forest, and there a sacred people tree had grown, and he cuts three sticks from there. One he takes it as Urvashi and the other one as himself, and he generates the fire. And the combination results in a fire called Jat Ved, so which is used in yagya for material success. So the reason behind this Agni called Jat Ved is described, and also the fire was split into three parts: Ahvanya, Grahapatya, and Dakshinagni. And he wanted to be with Urvashi in her abode with his adopted son, the sacred fire, and he worshipped the Supreme Lord presiding over all yagyas. So before all this, Omkar was the single Ved, but here the Vedas, all other Vedas had been merged in it, but now the Vedas have been again split. That is what we learn. And there was a single fire and a single one society order known as Hans. So during the time when Vedas was single called Omkar, the one and society order was also not multiple. It was single called Hansa. So King Pururva was instrumental in splitting the Vedas and fire into three parts. So accepting the fire as his son, the king then attained the abode of Gandharvalok. So he went into Gandharvalok. Now let's move on. So we have completed the episode. Very fascinating, very complex, too many personalities. Now this is the takeaway. Bhakti Shatak verse is there. Sham samj, Sham samj se Sham ko समझ सके सबको ये राधे राधे. श्याम समझ से श्याम को समझ सके सबको ये राधे राधे. श्याम समझ तब मिले जब समझ समर्पति समझ समर्पित हो ये राधे राधे. जय राधे राधे. जय राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे. जय राधे 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 कृष्णा राधे राधे राधे. जय राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे. जय राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे. जय राधे. जय कृष्णा राधे. जय राधे. Jaya Krishna. So this is the Shama Sham Geet. The meaning of that is accepting the fact that Lord Krishna can only be understood through his own divine intellect. The devotee should surrender the material intellect at his lotus feet. Explanation. The intellect of all souls bound by Maya is obviously material because it originates from Maya, and therefore it can attain only partial knowledge of material matter. I am saying partial knowledge because knowledge can only be referred to as perfect when the source of Maya, that is the Supreme Being Sri Krishna, is known. Such knowledge is possible only when the individual soul surrenders his intellect or at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Then the causelessly merciful Lord graces that individual soul with his divine intellect. It is with this divine intellect of Sri Krishna that we can know him. In the same way, we can see him only with the divine vision he grants us. Similarly, through his grace, when all our senses become divine, it is then that we can experience his divine touch, sound, taste, and smell. Otherwise, we will gain nothing but the result of our material tendencies. The Bhagavatam and the Ramayana illustrate this fact. Whenever God descended on earth, everyone saw him according to his or her own sentiments. We have seen the descensions of God countless times, but they only appear to be material. So, very beautiful, very profound. Needs to be read a few times to understand what Sri Maharaj is explaining. But you would remember a very popular Ramayana Chaupai, which is सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी करऊं प्रणाम जोरी जग पानी Ram Siya Ram Jai Jai Ram. So that is one verse, and then there is another verse that Jaki Rahi Bhavana Jaisi प्रभु मूरत तिन देखी ही तैसी जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत तिन देखी ही तैसी. We have materialized material everything. Now if we have not done sadhana, if we have not been progressing on surrender, the Lord will appear accordingly. If our sadhana is only 10%, we can see only 10% of divinity in Lord. But somebody who is elevated, then he can see the Lord in the form of the Lord. So I presume this is the last slide. And now we can open up for the discussions, feedback, etc. Over to Yatin Bhaiya.
It was a great session. Radhe Radhe. Great session as usual. I have one query actually.
Yes, sir.
Regarding from today's content itself. So it was mentioned that before the Vedas were combined in the word Omkar. The essence of the knowledge, everything was in there in the word one word, and after that King Pururva like split the Vedas into like it, after him the Vedas were like they were uh, in its current form, I think. So what was the like? Is it? I mean, I didn't understand actually completely. Like now after that the
Actually,
Vedas came to being. Yeah.
yeah, so every time the creation takes place, the Vedas appear from the Lord's mouth, So, and then there is also the story that the Vedas were stolen by the demon called Hayagreeb. So, Lord appeared to recover the Vedas. So, there are many stories about the Vedas. But Veda is the knowledge about God. So it is in a singular form. In the current Yuga, we learned that Veda Vyas divided into different Vedas. Veda was one, but Ved Vyasji divided into Atharva Ved, Sam Ved, Rig Ved, and Yajur Ved. So all the knowledge is there in the Vedas, but it was divided because time to time the the comprehension changes, the mode changes. For example, until Kali Yuga, Vedas are passed on by the process of Shruti. People hear the Vedas, the students will hear the Vedas and they will remember the content. So that is called Shruti. But during Kali Yuga, the memory becomes very weak. So it has to be in a different form. So Vedavyas and Ganeshji, they wrote the Vedas. So we can say that there is a similar story in one of the yugas when Pururva broke it up in 3 parts. Earlier than that, it was called Onkar. And the Yuga was also such that there were no divisions. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There was only one Varna. So this is also a new knowledge to me. But Hari Anant, Hari Katha Ananta, is there a dearth of such knowledge? It gets deeper and deeper as we discover the knowledge. So I really do not have much information on it, but we can research and figure out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. One more thing. I think it's like very simple kind of question. I don't know if we have covered it earlier or not, but yeah, I mean, so it came to be just in this session that we said that there are 4 yugas, one after another. It comes, but between the yugas, like at the boundary, is there any specific event which take place, which separates the yugas, or like it's a continuous, like today it's a different yuga and tomorrow it will be like the starting of new yoga or something.
It should be a gradual process, like we
Okay.
can logically surmise. For example, after 4,27,000 years, the Kali Yuga will end and Satyug will begin. So near Meerut in Uttar Pradesh, there is a village called Sambal. There, King Kalki will appear and he will start destroying the corrupt politicians and kings. So it is, I presume it should be gradual, and then, but the deterioration in Kali Yuga, we can say that it is already happening. So there is a very interesting story about the transition from Dwapar to Kali Yuga. So in the times of Yudhishthir Maharaj, after they were ruling Hastinapur, one person came to Yudhishthir Maharaj, 2 persons came to Yudhishthir Maharaj, and they had a dispute. One person had sold the land to the other person, and this person, when he dug out the land, he found out there was a pot with lot of precious gems and ornaments, etc. So the person who had bought the land, he wanted to return it to the owner of the land. But owner of the land is saying, I sold the land. I never knew that there was such a huge wealth, a pot with the wealth. I did not have any idea. So I'll not take it. It is yours. But this person was telling, I only gave you the price for the land. I never gave you the price so I don't want to keep it. So they were fighting. Now, there's a very strange mention about Bhim in many, many stories. Bhim will always surprise you. And I have 2 more very important stories about Bhim, but that we leave it for the next time. Bhim was watching all this. Yudhishthir was very perplexed who to give the favor and who to decide. He was not able to. So Bhim came to his rescue. He said, Bhaiya, tell them to come after a few months, and we cannot decide this one so easily. So they went back. And then they came back after the appointed date. And lo and behold, the situation has changed. The person who was telling that I should return the pot, now he's telling, no, it is mine. And the person who was telling, no, it is not mine, he is demanding it. So the situation had diametrically opposed. And then it was found out the Yuga had changed. Dwapar had changed to Kali Yuga. So this deterioration will keep taking place.
Right.
Some Kathakars give a very, peculiar picture that the end of the Kali Yuga, the human's body will become so small that he will reside in the Chane Ka Jhar, the horse, the chickpeas
Right.
bush. He will reside in, he can climb that. And also the life span reduces, the dharma becomes so rampant. So there are many gory stories about the end of Kali Yuga. I have not read. This is one of my bucket lists to read about the Bhavishya Puran, where all these are mentioned.
Okay.
So to cut short, I forget the question, but yes, there will be a deterioration. And at the end of Kali Yuga, the transition, in my opinion, and logically, should be gradual.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, actually, interesting story, and it answers actually my question perfectly.
Right.
So
Thank
it's
you.
clear. Yeah. Sheila ji, please.
Yeah, Bhaiya, Radhe Radhe. What, I was interested to see that the people tree is a fig tree stroke people tree. So is people tree fig tree? I didn't think so.
Sometimes, there may be some mistake, but these are like, these are typo or
Okay, fine.
yes,
Yeah, no worries, Bhaiya, no
because
worries.
I think I would call it a banyan tree, right? Banyan is bargad. People is different. Yeah, fig I think is called anjeer,
Anjeer,
but
yeah.
English is a very funny language, right? So Bairo becomes Baron and Baron becomes Bairo because their minds are very narrow, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, thank you,
Right.
Bhaiya, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else would like to share something or ask? I think we are 2 minutes above, but yeah, maybe 1 or 2 minutes more. Okay, Anji, please.
Last week, I don't think there was a class, or am I wrong? Because I did join and I waited 10 minutes, but I don't think I was informed that there wasn't a class.
Yeah, last week the session was at a different time actually. So it was on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. So it was only for last week, but again we resumed from Saturday timings from this week
So
onwards.
last time we decided to take it to the night because I was not free, and we wanted to keep it like that, but there is some other question, so we are back to this timing. But I thought every time there is a change in program, the notice goes to everyone. So we had advertised about the change in timing, but we are back to this this particular time now, the original one. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So if no,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't see anyone else raising hand, so
so
maybe
if
we
no
can close.
further feedback or comments, so बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार
Sarkar
की
ki jai.
जय, श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय,
Jai.
जय जय श्री
Shri
राधे,
Radhe,
जय जय श्री राधे,
Radhe,
जय
Jai
जय
Jai
श्री
Shri
राधे.
Radhe.
Radhe Shyam.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe